after this, we'll have a good idea of what results are needed for each player to advance through into the quarterfinals in the rest of the tournament. To the top left-hand side, our red Zerg player. This is Nerchio. And at the bottom right, this is our blue Terran from Team Revolution. It is Optimus. So guys, how's everybody doing today? Hope you're all having a great time. Hope you're all having a lot of fun. I know I've asked you this a lot, but it's Friday. You know, it's Friday. Everyone should be excited. Everyone should be around and happy and smiling. And, you know, hopefully you're all feeling good. Again, if you're enjoying the stream, you consider tapping that follow button. See when we go live in the future as we slowly approach our 30,000 follower goal. What's also really awesome, by the way, is I've been watching this climb up the last few days. We are very close to hitting 4 million channel views. 4 million channel views. What? That's insane. I remember when you hit our first 1 million, and oh boy, that was a long time ago. But it's sped up a little bit since then. And wow, it's crazy. 4 million views. I mean, it's just a number that goes up day by day, obviously, as people watch the stream, but it's crazy to think about that people have tuned into the channel about 4 million times. Absolutely mental. Well, we do just see the factory dropping down in the main base here. We are on Abiogenesis for game number 1, and right from the get-go, that gives us something kind of interesting to talk about at the top of this series, which is Abiogenesis? Huh? What? Huh? Like, it just doesn't really make much sense. Yeah, I mean, it does make sense, right? It's one of these maps which some players have really kind of become accustomed to playing. There's a lot of different builds that happen on this map, but in this case in particular, this is just a fast Rotron from Nerchio, so he is just going to get aggressive. I was going to say, some players have really learned how to play macro on this map. They've learned what to do, how to set up. I'm sure Optimus has kind of learned as well how to play against a fast Roach Rush here on Abiogenesis. I mean, he's already opened double gas, right? So he didn't expand right away. Without an early expansion, you would imagine he's actually going to have defenses up and in position to deal with the first Roaches. So he's already gone double Reaper, which allows him to have a Reaper at home to deal with the first couple of Lings. And this kind of feels as though it's maybe even a little bit of a hard counter here from Optimus against Nerchio, just in terms of somewhat a little bit of luck on the build order, I guess, from the get-go. As we do see this Queen coming down to the low ground, and we'll be starting to target down this Reaper. So Reaper's starting to take a little bit of damage. And we are just going to be having this other Reaper coming along and trying to see what else it can do. A grenade goes down, a couple of those Roaches get popped back. And again, the 2 Reapers just going to come back in towards the center of the map now. Command center's just over halfway done. And we are going to be seeing again the 2 Reapers coming off to the side. Just looping around a little bit, actually. So really just looping all over the place. As you see these Roaches and Nerchio continuing down to the bottom right. Namshot in the chat, waiting to play Optimus in the final series of the day. Comes in with the Friday, Wardy. I'll bring the beer. That's what I like to hear. Gonna be celebrating when you win the group, right? Yeah, man. I don't know. I'm feeling the Friday today, even though my plan for the night is to sit in and play video games. I don't know. Just something about the day. It just feels good, you know? Just feels good. A couple of Reapers come through, and again, Nerchio can't really do much with this attack because the first early Cyclones just really shut this down. Reaper Grenade to maybe push the Reaper Roaches back in towards the Cyclones again. I mean, the Cyclones are just one of those awkward units where they have to keep stopping because they attack so often, they stop a lot, and it's like a very awkward sort of you know, they just like stutter every single time they shoot. So a lot of Roaches killed, and Nerchio is kind of forced into more Roaches to be able to defend once these Cyclones arrive. 2 more as well, makes 4 in total. Nerchio sat at the front with Queens, Roaches, and Lings. We're going to see what they can do. A Reaper Grenade goes down. We are going to be seeing a Creep Jammer picked off as well. Again, the Cyclone's just going to jump onto towards that Overlord, and it is going to fall. 2 Reapers and Cyclones turn around as well once more, and they do get themselves a Roach kill. So Roach goes down. Creep Jammer picked off also, and we are going to be having the couple of Reapers and Cyclones from Optimus just going to be setting up here. So again, Roach speed coming through, Ling speed also. 5 Cyclones now. I mean, the Ling speed, without the Ling speed, I really feel as though Optimus is in a bit of a fantastic position where he can just kite away from those Lings, and this is amazing for him. So far, he's lost absolutely nothing while killing 2 Lings, and Overlord, and 7 Roaches. This is the sort of opening from Optimus that really, truly is probably going to, well, at least put him in a very good position. If it doesn't win him this group, I would be, or not the group, but the game, I'd be somewhat amazed. Queen takes a little bit of damage once again. The Hatchery taking some shots on the natural. We are going to be seeing the Lings just kind of tuck themselves away behind this mineral line. Another Ravager morphs in here now, and again, just a few units. Just outside of the natural right now. Overseer morphing, and we are going to have the Cloak just coming in on this starport as well. A couple of extra factories slowly being added on, and look at Optimus. He just backs away from this, kind of confident with his lead perhaps. Just backs away and gets ready to go again. That's quite entertaining, I have to say. I'm so impressed that he's lost absolutely nothing with all of this so far. I mean, 8 roaches, the Overlord 2 Lings, and the drone, and now another drone because Cloak Banshee shows up in the main. It really is something quite spectacular. Great play so far by Optimus, and as he goes into a few more Hellions, the extra factories, you obviously know this is mech. Abiogenesis is a surprisingly good map for mech because of its small size. You can actually take a lot of bases without really much difficulty, you can cover them easily, and the pushing power is absolutely insane. Few units moving forwards, and we are going to be seeing Hellions and Cyclones just going to be poking their way through this base, which is obviously just now on its way up. Man, Nerchio's going to start moving across the map. The Banshees are ready to dive in towards the natural, and Overseer here, so these Queens will be able to get damage done, but Optimus is already picking up quite a bit of damage. 4, 5 workers killed, 6 workers killed, and we are going to be seeing Optimus losing now his first units, not just in the Banshees, but the Ling run by starts to deal damage as well. The Roach is trying to hold those Cyclones down the ramp as a lot of SCVs do go down. I mean, 7 so far, but he did lose 6 drones as well, remember. And right now, those Roaches, Ravagers, and Lings are really getting... Oh my god, the concussed... Oh my god, no. The Corrosive Bile just went and killed like 10 extra SCVs. What an incredible connection as they ran up the side of this ramp. Kaboom. Goodbye. Thanks for joining the game today. SCVs got annihilated. Absolutely annihilated, as we will be seeing a Changeling dropping down here. A handful of Roaches from Nerchio continue to gather together as well, with just 7 just burrowed, and Tunneling Claws coming through. That worker damage may be the difference between him making this work or not. Really not. At first it's like, oh, maybe it hits a Cyclone. Nice Bile. Then, oh my god, it hit all those SCVs. That's kind of crazy. Hellbat's doing more Vin over on this side. A couple of tanks showing up as well. You gotta remember, Nerchio's army is still very Roach kind of predominant here. He's gonna lose that hatchery once again. Well, doesn't matter if you don't have a third base if you stop the Terran from having a natural. And right now, that's kind of what's happening here if these Roaches continue to come on through. 8 more SCVs lost. Optimus just backs away because he probably thinks, well, what else am I meant to do if I've denied the dude's third base again? Can't really push up into the natural, can I? No, I kind of agree. I don't think you can. He does have triple orbital, so he's able to rebuild the SCVs he's losing. And that's important to keep track of. As you do see these Cyclones coming in, actually picking up a couple of units as he goes. Now this army's kind of on its own out in the center, although I guess a couple of reinforcements from the main base. Optimus slowly starting to kind of bring some units around for that. The tanks surviving a long time up top. They never got a chance to siege, though they will go down. He took down a lot of Roaches with this, but is it enough? Can he hold on if Nerchio continues to press on forwards? He has to siege these tanks instantly. And he has to fight far forwards with the foes and the Hellbats. Because if he doesn't, the Ravager Corrosive Biles are going to be absolutely insane at taking down those siege tanks. Medevacs here so you can lift the fours up, bring them forwards, hunt down that army again. With Micro, you should never lose these fours. But of course, it's just free damage you can pick up over time. And he is just slowly dropping down to actually get rid of this Overseer. Doesn't quite get it there. As we're going to be seeing dropping down again, perhaps in a moment or two more. Lings to the left-hand side. It's going to be seeing the few units just jumping onto that four, and a little bit more damage done again. Corrosive Biles dodges away. We do see another hatchery on the left-hand side of the map does finish up. So this time Nerchio has a third base finished. But can he saturate? And is it in a good position? I'm not sure here. We do see the fours are coming up the left side. Getting ready to drop the main base in a moment or two, perhaps. But Hydralisks able to push this away. For now, those fours are actually a little bit stuck. Not able to find a way out. Gonna drop off over here. It's not that many units, actually. Target down the Ravagers, that's super efficient. I mean, 200 gas just disappears for the Zerg player. Terran, you know, the Force taking damage means they may have to be pushed back home, but God, I mean, you know, you're killing gas-based units to have to repair a little bit, maybe later on. Nah, it's a worthwhile trade every day of the week, doesn't matter how you look at it. Now, Nerchio going to continue pushing right now. These Force are thinking about coming back in. There's nothing there, though. Nerchio didn't leave a defense, so it's the perfect time for those Force to go in, punish Nerchio for being across the map, and get something done, because those Force are not going to be in the fight back at home. Couple of tanks on the high ground, going to have to start sieging up, but they're a little bit late to the party. The Hellions are surrounded. I don't think Optimus was really expecting Nerchio's entire army to be over here. He needs to hold on against this right now as Lings, Hydras, and Roaches start to flood on through. He's doing damage over here. Hellions are in the main. I mean, 4's on the third. He's going to do so much damage again. He doesn't even need to hold on with that much at home. He might even just want to bring the 4's back at some point because he's going to have done enough damage to justify them being back home to defend. Right now, as units pop out, they're getting picked off one at a time, though, and that's the biggest issue here, as Optimus is just down on army supply, and all of this army supplies over here. Drones and Roaches are winning the fight against the 4's. They go down. Heavy losses for Optimus. I just don't think he quite has the army to make this work. GG. What a game by Nerchio, can we just say? What a game by Nerchio. Something got rescheduled, and the tournaments ended up clashing, but really a very kind of cool kind of turnout here in the viewership. So cool to see you guys. How you all doing? Hello. Thanks for tuning in today as we kick off in a game number 2. This time we're on Catalyst as we have to the bottom right our red Zerg player. This from Red Bull is Nerchio. To the top left hand side, our blue Terran player from Team Revolution. It is Optimus. Alright then, so what are we thinking, guys? What are we thinking? What we're feeling? You guys think Optimus can bounce back after such a large lead as well? Actually, it really was quite the lead he had, which obviously turned into, I suppose, a little bit of a disaster. I think it was a very fun game, you know. It's one of those games I think Optimus even looks back and he just says, well, you know, wow, you really did just play that well to kind of, you know, force that scenario from the lead I was in. Obviously, I think you can always be upset as Optimus in that sort of position, but I think he has to look and just be like, well, straight up, I mean, wow, it's kind of impressive that you managed to make me make that many mistakes, right? And that's just how good Nerchio is. It's just how good Nerchio is. He's able to force mistakes from some of the best in Europe. And that can be a saving grace when you're a little bit behind in a game. That's what makes these players so good. Even if the game doesn't get off to a good start, so often they follow up into such a strong follow-up. It's crazy how it can go. It's crazy, truly. Nice peaceful sort of journey with this Overlord across the map. But that said, we are going to be having the SCV production continuing the factory about to finish up. I mean, if you look at the build from Optimus, this is a bit more kind of regular TVZ with the Reaper Expand coming down. We do see the third hatches coming into play here from Nerchio, so just getting the setup and ready to go. And the Reaper taking some damage, having to back away for just a moment. Rifkin talks money all the time in so many ads. It's funny because a lot of people in this channel criticize me for talking money all the time in so many ads as well, so I guess I don't know what to say. It's one of those weird things. Different amounts are acceptable for different people. I guess we can't talk money if we don't have any donations, though. Donation bait. Just memeing, guys. Just memeing. We are obviously getting this game set up properly, though. I mean, the Cloaking Field is coming down for the Banshees. Just Cloak Banshee from the get-go. A couple of Hellions on the way out. I mean, Catalyst again, another great map to play mech on. it's this map which can really get so much done because you can take the 3 bases so easily, the 4th base in the center so easily, and again, you can push across the map so quick because it's such a short rush distance from the from this 4th base here to the south side of the map. Reaper hopping up and down, give us some vision for the Hellions to deal some damage. We do just see 4 of these Hellions gathering up in the center with a Reaper, so possible to try and get a little bit more done. What's going to be seeing this cloak is about halfway done, and we see the Banshee on the way out. Marine being targeted down, or targeting down this Overlord at least, and we do have the Hellions trying to drive by. Queens pick up a Reaper, and again the Zerglings coming through are going to get us around, and that's going to be a good few Hellions going down now, so nice shutdown from Nerchio. Optimus playing mech is probably looking to dive these Hellions in for drone kills, but not getting a single one, and not even getting that many Zerglings because it was a full surround. Amazing start as we do see the Banshee picks up its first kill, moving in towards the natural. A bit awkward because the lair isn't finished and the Spore isn't quite ready just yet. We are going to be seeing the 5 workers going down, and 6 as well, maybe a 7th. I was going to be seeing an 8th, maybe 2. This is nice damage from Optimus. Kind of makes up for the Hellions being lost. Some Lings run by, and they get maybe a very old mule that was about to expire anyways. Maybe miss 1 trip of mining, if that. So, you know, a couple of SCVs, or an SCV and a mule so far. Doesn't quite get a second SCV. I don't say that was that great for Nerchio in the end. So the initial Hellion run by, not amazing. The Ling run by, not amazing. The Banshee, the real damage dealer here so far in this game. Those Queens on creep, they're chasing, but the Overseer can't quite keep up to keep the detection there. A little bit of a shame. Well, they changed schedules and I missed the first game of Nerchio. Sorry, Nostros Beefs. It's because with the last 2 series of the day is always in a group like this for us, a little bit of a question mark because we generally will kind of do it a different way around if it helps us to maybe potentially avoid, having a pointless game happen as the final matchup. So, Nerchio lost his series against Namshar, so he did Nerchio versus Optimus first instead of Namshar versus Optimus. 1-1 vehicle weapons coming through from Optimus here. We're going to be seeing groove spines. Roach speed coming up at the moment. +1 missile attack as well coming in. Yeah, let's just poking forwards and getting a couple of creep tumors, and we do see the highs continue to come over to the left-hand side. Infernal Preigniter coming up. Realizing the Hydras already probably just says, okay, well, Blue Flame is going to be my best friend in a situation like this. Blue Flame comes up, and we can, deal with those Hydras so much more easily. Alien still sat up to the top side, and we have an Overlord just in the top right corner as well. This Overlord trying to spread some creep, but a Marine pushing it away. Pretty much the only anti on the map right now. If he gets forced to lift this orbital, and the creep comes back in, that would actually be very frustrating right now, but 2 tanks, the Hellions in position, Optimus deflects, Nerchio unable to get much done just yet. Carapace will start from Nerchio down on the south side. We do see a couple of Medivacs lifting up some Hellbats here, so just lifting these up, and meanwhile 4th hatchery from Nerchio will come through as well. His creep in the center of the map's pretty good. Slowed down a little bit on the left side from that previous kind of set of creep teams we saw being denied. As we are going to be having this Roach coming back up towards the upper right side. Infestation Pit is about halfway done. And we are going to be seeing Hellions coming down the left side to see maybe what they can get up to next. Engineering Bay is about to finish as well. Engineering Bay just for some missile turrets in case of a meter switch, I suppose. I guess just, one of those things that A, helps you wall off, and B, it's, it's something where a couple of missile turrets at some point might be somewhat, useful. We're just here dealing some damage and are able to get a couple of Hellion kills, so some damage being done. Ooh, in the end he finds 6 workers. Wouldn't have expected that when those Hellions started running across the map and started dying to those roaches some time ago, would you? I wasn't expecting it, I can tell you that much. Couple more Hellbats loading up. Tanks will siege again. 4th Command Center building. ready to lift on down to this position here. So, ready to lift that on and over. And again, the Hellbats and the Medevacs are going to be a big part of potentially just dropping on top of that army. And just, you know, not only do the Hellbats then tank the damage, but they also, you know, allow the siege tanks to, you know, they tank the damage, give the siege tanks time to deal damage themselves, but they also do a lot more damage than if they just stood at the front. Roaches and Hydras coming around the right side. We are going to be seeing a single supply depot picked off already. Engineering Bay taking some damage. A couple of SCVs are dropping. Refinery about to go down. We do see the Hellbats going to be boosting forward. It's going to be actually just dropping on top as we talked about. But it's a flank from the left side from Nerchio. There's actually a few swarm hosts up. Wow. Talk about terrible casting. That's one way to just never see anything coming today. I know, guys. I mean, should have seen multiple swarmers. He built 14 swarm hosts. I didn't mention them once into the Locust job. Like, oh my god. How bad can I be? It's really kind of embarrassing, actually. Well, the first wave of Locust does okay. Optimus is going to start pushing forwards, knowing the Locust on cooldown. One of the big things about Catalyst is definitely with the Locust on cooldown, you can get, you know, you can start to push, and you can really push very quickly and to start making something happen there. You see those Locusts dropping down, and a couple of siege tanks under fire right away. They go down pretty swiftly as pulling back in towards the natural. A few more of those tanks will siege, and again, maybe these Locusts get taken down here, but we are going to be having a few more SCVs away at the same time to the right-hand side. So while Optimus cleans up Locust, he's under attack elsewhere. Nerchio is just doing what he does so well. Attempt to Doom drop into the main, and that's a bit of a disaster. Nerchio takes this one 2-0. So he finishes this group 2-1 in